What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all a quick update of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at 39,674. What I want to do is start on the 1-day time frame. We're actually going to work down to the 1 hour and see what's happening with some of the price action that's happening right now. So if you guys get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's always appreciated, and we're going to dig into this. I'm also going to let you know what I've been doing in the market right now. So basically right now, guys, what I've been doing, I wasn't a buyer down in this area. And the reason I wasn't a buyer is because of the fact that we were below all of our moving averages and the fact that we had touched this support line several times. So for me, this was an area I was not jumping in. Even when I saw this bullish engulfing candle on about average volume, I still wanted to be careful. And so far, guys, I have not FOMO'd into any type of position. Like I've talked to you about before, I'm letting the longer term stuff ride, but in terms of my trading account, I have not made a trade yet. What I'm waiting for now, if I'm a little bit more conservative of a bull, what I want to see is for us to set some type of higher low and then potentially jump in on that higher low if the volume's looking right. Because basically right now, guys, one thing we have to realize here, which is great, we did close up above the 200 EMA, which has not happened in about 60 days. So I'm so glad that we're trading up above it, but we need to hold that today. But one thing I want to point out here, you can see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 days to the upside. So what I'm anticipating is something along the lines of this here, guys. Coming back down into this area, potentially testing like the 50, seeing if we can set that higher low, and then going up and seeing if we can get through that $41,000. That's going to be a big area for us. And what we'll want to do is find support off this 50 if we do start coming back down into this area. Now, another thing I want to point out for you here, we're going to use a Fibonacci, okay, and kind of look at some levels here. So say we're looking for an entry into Bitcoin, a safe entry into Bitcoin. What I like to look for, just from this fib alone right here, say we do have a retracement, I like looking back to the 0.5 to that 0.618 right in this area. So I'm anticipating a higher low down in this range here if we're going to continue to keep this moving to the upside here. Because right now, guys, one thing you have to pay attention to and you have to remember is that we're basically in a horizontal range right here. So you can see this high up here, this high here, and this could just be the top of the range, and then you can see the bottom of the range here, and our range basically goes from about $30,000 up to $40,000. So we have a $10,000 range here where we can bounce up and down. You can see over here how we hit the top of this range, then we came all the way back down. So we can't negate the fact that this could just be us hitting the top of the range before we start working our way back down. So for me, I'm still being extremely cautious in this area, guys. I don't want to give back the profits that I've already made. So I'm looking for a high quality entry. To me, that's going to have very low risk and a higher reward. And for me, that's not jumping in right now. When our relative strength is around 70, we've had about 7 to 8 days to the upside without any cooling down period. You know, guys, this is Bitcoin, and we could just blast up all the way up to here, and that's great. You know, it'd be good for all the long-term positions. But for me, I'm not chasing anything in this area right now. Okay, I'm happy to see us trading up above the 100, the 200, the 50, and the 200. That's awesome, but I want to see a nice, strong, higher low set. And what you'll see is that we've had heavier volume here. Once we start to retrace, we want to see that on less volume or lighter volume. That'll most likely show that we're going to get another leg to the upside, and that's what I would rather be a part of than trying to chase this right now. So we're not shorting, right? We're not doing anything like that. We're just patiently waiting. And I had a quote last night. I forget who it was from. I was reading through a bunch of them, but I hadn't heard this before, and it's so true. Not having a position in the market, so not being in a bullish position or a bearish position, not having a position, being in cash or stablecoin, sitting back waiting for an opportunity is a position in itself. Those are the three positions: sitting back, bullish in the market, and bearish in the market. And for me right now, I'm still sitting back because I don't want this to be some type of gnarly bull trap and all of a sudden we start dropping down really far and I get my pants pulled down. I'm not looking for that, guys. I'm looking for safe entries is what I'm looking for if I'm going to be longing in this space. Okay, so as we work down through the time frames now, and let me know what you've been doing. If you've been jumping in and you've ridden this up, you know, guys, it's been a beautiful move. Like I said, I'll let the longer term stuff capture this move, but for me, this is not an area yet. I want to see a little bit more confirmation. You see us get up and through about that $41,000 and turn that into support. So on the 12-hour time frame now, we have made it up above the 200 EMA. up above the 100, up above the 20, and the 50. The relative strength's at 70 right now. We had a bit of a double top here, so we do want to pay attention to that. We had heavier volume once we saw a little bit of rejection at that 200 EMA. We're trying to get up through it now and have candle closes above it and hold that. Okay, so that's nice to see that we're up above all the moving averages on the 12. This is what we were looking for. If we get into the 4-hour time frame and we take a look at the moving averages, so we're trading below this since roughly about May 12th. We were below this 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. Got a really nice strong move on heavy volume up through this area. You can see we back tested this 20 EMA right now, and we're actually trying to go a little bit higher, but we are running into that resistance at around $41,000. Right now, we have not had a candle close, but if we did close like that, that would be a bearish engulfing candle, okay, on heavier volume. With, you can see here, price was going up, and on the relative strength, we had that negative divergence. So it's almost looking like we do need to cool down just a little bit here. If we get into the 1-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame is a really nice time frame to trade, guys. It's a really good one for like swing trading in this space, I believe, to find entries on the 1-hour time frame and then trade off that either 4-hour or 1-day time frame, which can really help you. So right now we are trading up above the 20 EMA, trying to hold that as support, and that's going to be at 39,483. If we break that, we're going to look down to 38,592. Then it'd be down to around that 37,210. To the upside, we'll have to get over where we had tweezer tops up there on the 1-hour time frame at $40,900. Relative strength sitting at 54 right now. The heavier volume here did come into the downside. So we're going to have to see what type of bounce we get out of here. If it's on lighter volume, most likely we're going to get another leg down, probably to that 50 EMA right here like we did before. Okay, so that's going to be on the 1-hour time frame. If we get into the technicals and take a look. So on the 1-day time frame, we have a 6 sell, an 8 neutral, and a 12 buy. Oscillators, we have a 3 sell, 7 neutral, and a 1 buy. Moving averages, we have a 3 sell, 1 neutral, and 11 buy. So if we're working our way down through here, basically our commodity index is going to be a sell, our momentum is going to be a sell, MACD is going to be a buy, and the Williams percentage range is going to be a sell. The rest is going to be neutral. And in the shorter term, you can see the 10, the 20, the 30, and the 50 are all buy signals now for the moving averages because we're trading back up above them on the 1-day time frame, which is really important for us here, guys. Then one last thing I wanted to show you. Okay, so if we bounce out here, we're going to take a look at the fib. And we're actually going to go from the top to the bottom and see where we're at. So if we go from our swing high to our low of this bounce out of here, we've gotten through the 0.236, and now right now we're running into that 0.382. If we did push up to the 0.5, that's going to be about 43,316. Then that hot spot, that 0.618, is up at around 47,692, and that wouldn't be a bad spot, guys, for us to bounce up into here before we potentially see some rejection, but we're going to have to wait and see throughout the day. Then the other way that I want to do the fib for you, so that looking at that, seeing if we can get back up to that 0.618. If we go from our low down here, okay, so that March sell-off all the way up to the high. So let's take a look at the fib here. Okay, guys, so this entire move here from our low up to the high, we had broken down through the 0.236, but you can see we really haven't even had that massive of a retracement. Say we did have one back to the 0.382 in the macro sense here, that could put us back down around 22,113. Okay, so there's still a lot of areas to the downside that we can hit, gaps that potentially need to be filled. So in my opinion, guys, I'm waiting for a great bullish entry. I'm not chasing anything. I'm not feeling any FOMO at all, and that's why I keep those longer term positions, because that always helps with that. But for me, this was a risky area to take a trade with the fact that we had $10,000 potentially, or $5,000 that we could have fallen right at this area, like we talked about potentially being a cliff. But it's nice to see that the bulls did jump in and defend this. We're just going to have to see if we can continue to trade up above that 200 EMA on the 1-day time frame. That's going to be a really big sign for you. So let's see if we can pull back a little bit here in the next couple days to come, set a nice higher low, and then potentially go up and make a higher high. That's what it's all about, guys. We got to break it, and you can see here's our high, lower high, lower high. We don't want just this to be another lower high here. We're going to have to get up through the high of about 41,417. So if you get something from this, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Take care.